What's up, dude? This is here from Brix Dude, and today the Brix Dude team has come to a special place. Now we have come to the Israeli version of Michelangelo. Now his name is Radow. He's a Lego artist, and we're going to show you wonderful creations of Neil. Wait, watch this video till the end, and you'll see some magnificent things, such as this one, which Neil just built. I think it took him maybe a week or two, just for us, just for the Brix Dude. So let's wait and see what Neil has to show us.
In this video we're going to show you many of past creations of Neil by photos such as this mansion. We'll show you the inside as well as the outside, and some building techniques which Neil has been using, such as these windows, to construct those magnificent buildings. Also, this is a pirate scene. And look at this. This is the inspiration for a palace which Neil built. And you can see many angles of that palace. Super beautiful. So you can see many angles. You can see the roof and also the inside. Look at the floor. Now all the tiles are diagonal orientation, and these are the inside, the rooms. Now Lego space, mainly classic Lego space, is also one of Neil's favorite. So here you can see some of his creations, such as this twist for the 928 Galaxy Explorer Lego model, one of the very first classic Lego space ever. And also this one, this is a nice base which inspired us to build also something very similar, which we called Pluto 1. You can see that in the description box below, how we did it, inspired by Neil's building.
So today with us is Neil Radow. Neil is a true Lego artist. I would say, like I already said, you're like Michelangelo of the Lego in our country. Is that so?
You're kind of embarrassing me, Brix Dude.
But I had to.
But, you know, I like to think in bricks. So you can build almost anything with Lego if you think about it. If you, A, have the pieces, which is a huge problem a lot of the time, but also just think about shapes and think about the world in Lego.
How old are you, Neil?
I'm 35 years old.
35. And you've been in the Lego world since age of?
3 off and on, but you can say 3.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot of time. And probably you already had your medieval times of Lego.
Yeah, the Dark Ages.
Dark
yes.
Ages. And probably you got back to Lego.
So yeah, I got back into Lego because they came out with the Saturn. I mean, I always loved Lego, right?
With the Saturn, that means something like 4 or 5 years ago. Wow.
That's right.
And the thing which we saw here, I mean, these are amazing things. I would say that you've been building for decades, and you know.
So I mean, I always had Lego. I always liked Lego, but I didn't do much with it for a really long time. And I really loved space, and when that set came out, and I really loved the moon program and all that, and so when it came
That's
out...
the classic Lego space, or every kind of Lego space?
No, I mean space in real life, like planets and astronauts, and
right.
So when they came out with the Saturn V, which is, I had to buy it, and my wife and I were getting married about the same time, and we were in New York. I went into the Lego store and said, all right, I'm in New York, I'm going to buy it, because in Israel, like, you can't find a lot of things, or at least not at the price that you want to pay.
Right.
And so I said, I'm going to go into the New York Lego store and buy it. And we went in, and they were sold out, of course, because that's how it works. But I was like, I wanted to build Lego now because I was there. So I ended up buying the TIE Fighter instead, the UCS TIE Fighter.
So you also like the Lego Star Wars?
Not really.
But the mobs which you've been building so far, whatever we saw, are either castle
or space.
Classic Lego space.
That's right. Yeah.
These
so
are the themes.
I like to build in castle and Lego space. I like architecture, particularly older architecture. So I've done mostly from castle kind of stuff, but also like train stations I like to do, or any of those older style architecture.
Wait, I remember you once built a train. That was a Lego space train.
Oh,
Classic Lego
a
space.
classic space train. I did.
The Space Week, something like 2 years ago.
We displayed it at Space Week before COVID came, when we had actual live.
Yeah, I see that
Lego
you have a shirt like almost like myself. This is the IsraeLug. This is the Israeli Lego user group. Most of the countries, of the developed countries, they have something which is called a LUG, which means Lego user group. It's a group of FOs, that means adults fans of Lego, that has to do with Lego. So this is our local group, which Neil is a member in that group. Also, the Brix Dude are.
And you have a prettier shirt than I do. I have the ugly yellow
yeah, we have that one, the blue one. But that means you
and the collar, that means it's fancy. You can wear it to work. It's
absolutely, yes. This is for work, the blue. But I see that, but I think the yellow one is that means you're in this business much
longer,
much longer than us. Yeah.
So.
Okay, Neil, we really appreciate your invitation to come and let us see whatever you have here, whatever you built, which is absolutely amazing. I have no words to express my excitement here. So thank you again. If you'd like to add something more to our...
No, thank you so much for having me on the channel. I look forward to hopefully many more times having more things to show on the channel. Maybe we'll take a look in a few months at my new house, at the new Lego room we're building out, and you guys can see.
I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to have a sequel for this video. Wait for that. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Brix Dude.
All right.
Now, before going to the main event, which is the special mock which Neil prepared for us for the visit, let's see some more castle buildings by Neil from the past few years. So you can see some special techniques used in the city wall of a castle, fortifications, gates, and other types of techniques. Now Neil took photos of several stages of the building, so you can see how he did it. For example, this diagonal way of putting a castle over a base plate, the fortifications, the battlements, the way that he built that round tower. Very unique, very special, and very inspiring. You can also see the bricks in the city wall to give it an old, ancient, stylish look. And the tower bridge, look at the staircase, very special. And this window, look at the technique which was used to build that window. This window is called a vitrage. So Neil took photos of many stages of the building, such as building this German house within the city wall. So you can also see not only the outside, also the inside of the city, the castle. Very inspiring. Many plates. And this is how he made a special floor. Look at those buildings. Also a German style, old European style. And look at that facade. Now this is the main building, maybe a palace inside the fortress, the castle. So you can see all the stages of building and all the techniques which were used to create the windows, the walls, the towers, the inside. Look at the floor in the galley or kitchen. Very unique and very inspiring.
Okay, so this looks like a beautiful creation. Looks like a castle with huge landscape, which looks a little bit round to me. I can see some water here, maybe a sea or a lake or a river. Okay, Neil, show us. What do we
Hi,
have here?
Brix Dude. Thanks for having me on the show. So this is basically a quasi-fantasy castle that I've built in the past few weeks, specifically for your show. This is an exclusive first view for the world, so no pictures have been sent to the lug, with the exception of this tree. And this is the first time the world will see it.
Awesome.
So basically, I wanted to build kind of a fantasy castle, and the initial thought process was I wanted to have a lot of different roof lines. So you have like the roof here, and particularly how these two roofs connect at an angle. And I started with that and looked up concept art online of fantasy castles and kind of started building. So a few of the things I did that are interesting, like you mentioned, there's this round base, which in order to build that, I actually went online and used a Minecraft circle chart.
Minecraft?
I've never played Minecraft at all, but it's also with blocks, so when they make a circle with squares, I figured I could use it too.
Amazing. I look at the landscape, it looks so realistic. And where did you get the inspiration from for this castle? I mean, I see some elements, some motifs, like from, I don't know, from a cathedral, from Disney castle, from other castles, and wow, it's really amazing.
So one of the things that I like to do here is, it is what I'd say a realistic fantasy castle, which means that this could in most ways be a real castle, but because you're taking elements from particularly cathedral architecture, that makes it into more of a fantasy castle. You see that in the Disney castle, even like Hogwarts and other fantasy castles like that. So whereas a traditional castle would be a lot more plain, it's adding a lot more garish kind of, garish isn't the right word, but a lot more details and intricate ideas throughout it rather than just some kind of plain walls. And so I kind of went from there. I built the circle, which was just layering plates on top of plates, crossing them. The main thing was getting all of the support structure in there so that the whole thing doesn't fall apart, because there's no base plates in here. Right? It's all actually 2x4 plates, is the whole bottom 3 rows are all 2x4 plates.
So I guess everything is very firm down below.
Right. It's all very, very strong.
Now, can you turn it a little bit? Can we see the
We absolutely can.
back side of this castle?
We absolutely can. Now, I have not finished it yet, so the interior is quite incomplete.
Also, if you go to Barcelona and you go to that big cathedral, which is called La Sagrada Familia of Gaudi, still, this one is one of the most beautiful cathedral in the whole world, and it's unfinished. They still say it's unfinished, so,
So that happens.
It's a different interpretation for the word unfinished. I can see that there's a chandelier inside.
And an organ.
An organ, wow, yeah.
Yeah, that's the chapel. So like a traditional medieval castle would always have a chapel.
Awesome.
So you got the chapel over there. This is kind of a dining hall, great hall area. And then the idea is I have a few more rooms upstairs that I have not decided what they are, and they're not built yet. But they would be something.
Oh, and I can see this is the bedroom of probably the king or the
queen.
queen.
Or the lord, yeah. Whoever would be living in this particular castle.
Extraordinary.
Right, so they get the best view up high with the nice stained glass window.
And I look at this kind of turret. Wow, this looks like exactly like, an old cathedral from the medieval. And those tiles on the sides, they look like a little bit like an English building, those corners.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep them straight, which is the problem. But it's actually a pretty easy technique to do, but it is a pain in the butt sometimes to do because you have to push on each individual little tile. But I think the results are worth it.
Well, I see that you have combined many techniques of building, of castle building, such as those beautiful vitrage windows
Yeah, so
and those cross-like openings.
yeah, so the
Really?
cross arrow slits are actually, this is a well-known castle technique. They're just these cheese slopes, if you can see it in the video,
Cheese slopes, yes.
on their side, and popped in there on top of each other, and it makes the cross shape. So it's a really easy technique, but it's really useful for a castle. And then one that I'm really proud of, you mentioned the stained glass, and there are actually two kinds of stained glass windows. So there's this one, and in the same style as what we have on the other side on the chapel. So they're just black over here and they were white over there. And so those are those old Lego turntable pieces without the turning part, and then you put the clear plates behind them. There's also this one up on top, and this is built, and these two windows are the same technique but without the stained glass, is built with those old-fashioned fence pieces sideways.
These are the good old fence pieces, absolutely, yeah. I didn't even notice that
Yeah,
until you mentioned that.
and you can just put studs into them, so you can put trans plates behind them, just like I did here, to make them into
I also
a stained
like
glass
these.
window. Right, so this is also
These tiles which cover everything on the...
on the battlements.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that also is a little bit tricky because you want to try to get them all to line up flat with each other and not have any kind of bumps that go overhead.
So how long did it take you to build this magnificent castle and construction
I
and
mean,
base? I call it just the composition, you know, it's, you know, if I just say castle, I think I'm going to underestimate what you did here, so I'll call it the composition.
right, it's two pieces. There's a landscape and a castle. So it took about 3 weeks. I probably could have done it. Oh, you want me to keep it? I'll keep it.
Yeah,
So it took about 3 weeks. I could have done it a bit faster, but we had flu season and my whole family got sick. So it took a little longer than expected. But basically I had all of my Lego packed up and hadn't been building in a while, and you said you wanted to film this video, and I took everything out and said I'm going to make something for it. So that was 3 weeks ago, and this is where it's at now.
all right, thank you, Neil.
The fairy tale style castle mock is not something which we see every day. Well, not in the naked eye. So this is something very unique, and we took some more photos in order to document this magnificent creation for anyone who would like to be inspired and get some ideas from Neil. And you can see many things from the inside, such as the organ, other rooms, this bedroom, the special windows, the staircase, and so on. Now we'll also put Neil's email below in the description box if any of you would like to make contact or ask any question Neil, you'll be able to. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're not subscribed, please do. This is very important for us. And again, from all our heart, we would like to make our gratitude and thank Neil for this special visit and building. Thank you.
What's up, dude? Ja, die is god,